There are tons of new building and decor materials on the market right now. We've got organic boards, organic and organic hybrids, pure inorganic panels, tiles, sintered stone slabs, and metal sheets. Firstly, there is a relatively clear point. These new panels are basically formaldehyde-free and have almost no VOCs. Because it is not like traditional wood, which is glued together with glue, sometimes the glue cannot avoid formaldehyde because it is a basic material for making glue. Our new type of board does not require glue, so it is also difficult to produce formaldehyde at all. Just look at what we have here: metal sheets, sintered stone, marble slab. And marble also has many processing methods, not just a matter of one board. Then these is calcium silicate boards, fiber cement boards, magnesium oxide board, fiber gypsum board, and diatom mud board, which uses magnesium oxide as a binder so it looks like a magnesium oxide board. Then these are gray silicate boards and rock fiber boards. This particular board is actually purely organic, and its core is probably made of PET foam. Over here is polyester fiber board, which can make many artistic shapes. This one is traditional outdoor WPC decking. And this is a high-pressure laminate board. It has incredibly hard and can be used for outdoor facades. Then these are SPC boards, WPC boards, and we called crash-proof panels. This is a WPC interior wall partition. It can be installed as an internal partition wall directly. This one is a furniture board, a WPC furniture board. And here are various polyester fiber options with really bright colors and can be used for many decorative treatments. Plus, we have all these different metal surface treatments. Personally, I think whether you're a designer, a contractor, or in sales, you really need to understand how these different materials perform. Otherwise, you won't even know if what you're selling is actually right for the job. It's never just a question of price. This one here is a WPC board. Many WPC board actually contain no wood elements at all, meaning no wood powder or paper pulp. This specific one has some aerogel mixed in. And since it has no wood powder, it looks completely snow white. A locking mechanism is set on the edge of the board so it snaps together tightly and is super easy to install. The surface uses a co-extruded layer, basically a hard PVC layer, so it's really tough. Now, this might be made from recycled materials, which is why it looks kind of dull and gray. Usually, WPC has a yellowish tone because it either contains wood powder or has pigments added. This one is SPC board, and its hardness is really high because it doesn't go through a foaming process. It's just calcium carbonate mixed with PVC. This board is pretty thick, and they've added a thin rubber cushion in the middle to give you a softer feel underfoot. This is a high-pressure laminate board, and as you can hear when you knock on it, it's incredibly hard. It's made by soaking craft paper in phenolic resin and pressing it under high heat and pressure. Since phenolic resin is a thermosetting material, it can withstand sunlight and rain, has strong weather resistance, and will not deform. So this board can be used as an outdoor curtain wall. You can get it in different colors to make walls look really rich and interesting. This is a WPC wall panel, 3.5 centimeter thick, which can be used directly as an interior partition wall. You can run cables and conduits right through it, so everything stays hidden. See the locking mechanism on the left? You can just snap the panels together one by one, which makes installation incredibly fast. This one is a furniture board, about 2 centimeters thick, also made of WPC. You can see both sides are made extra dense, so it has great screw holding power and can grip screws tightly. And this is outdoor WPC decking, which many people is pretty familiar with. It's a great substitute for natural outdoor wood because it won't crack and it keeps termites away. Over here is polyester fiber, which is basically PET turned into fiber. All of these are polyester fiber boards. They come in very bright colors and are perfect for indoor partitions in places like activity rooms. Plus, their sound absorption is amazing because the thick layers of fiber are great at trapping sound. This one is actually XPS wrapped in fiberglass mesh. XPS has decent strength, lightweight, heat insulating, and waterproof, so it's perfect as a backing board for exterior walls or roofs. This next one also seems to be a PET foam board, but the surface is covered with aluminum alloy. Generally, if we're using aluminum alloy or metal sheets for a finish, it's best to coat both sides. If you only do one side, it warps easily because metal and plastic expand and contract at different rates. Everything we just looked at falls under organic boards. Now let's look at the inorganic boards. And there are a lot of types here too. This is a rock fiber board, and you can see its color is very similar to stone wool. In fact, you can also regard it as a board made of rock wool through high temperature and high pressure pressing. This board surface is finished with melamine paper. Of course, you can also adopt PVC coating or other treatment methods. This board has a unique feature. Its screw-holding power is incredibly strong, making it excellent for lining boards. This one is a fiber cement board, and you'll have a really hard time driving a nail into it. If nails are hammered, the board may crack. Thin fiber cement boards work well for walls or ceilings, but definitely not for backing since you can't nail into them. If it is to be laid on the ground, the underlying floor must be level. Thick fiber cement boards, like this one, are basically used for raised access flooring. You secure them to the subfloor with leveling floor bolts and just lay the boards right on top. Generally, these leveling bolts can easily adjust the height to give you a perfectly flat floor. Even if the natural ground is uneven, the raised floor can still be adjusted to a relatively flat level through anchor bolts. This is foam ceramics, and all these pores inside are actually closed cells. It means water can't seep through at all. so its waterproof performance is great. Another huge plus is its incredible insulation capability. Its thermal conductivity is only around zero point 0.1, so it keeps heat in or out really well. It's also very light as an interior partition. The apparent density is only about zero point 0.4, making it super easy to install. That's why it's so convenient for interior walls. In addition, the characteristics of this material make it easy to carve patterns with a carver, so it is very convenient for him to make some embossed walls or lines on exterior walls. A lot of people can't tell the difference between cement boards and calcium silicate boards. Next time, I'll make a video to explain the differences, because there actually are quite a few. This is a magnesium oxide board, or what some call a glass magnesium board. And this board is constructed by combining two metal plates to form a composite board with an outer surface covered by a film. This other one uses a fabric wrap, a type of linen fabric. I should also mention gray silicate boards, which are made by compressing kaolin clay, the same clay we use for tiles. Its density is around 1.0, and it has great screw holding power, making it excellent for backing boards. All of these inorganic boards have really good fire resistance. This one is a diatom mud board, made mostly of diatom mud with a bit of magnesium oxide as a binder, plus some mineral powder. Its main feature is that it can absorb harmful gases like formaldehyde, and its minerals can crete negative ions to help purify the air. Meanwhile, it can also regulate the humidity of indoor air, enhancing human comfort. Using this for decor in places like hotel rooms, kindergartens, or senior living communities can really improve the indoor air quality. This is a fiber gypsum board, and it's completely different from the paper-faced gypsum board we all know, and the manufacturing process is different too. It's pressed using a semi-dry process and has some paper pulp mixed in. While regular drywall has a density of around 0.7, this one reaches 1.2, so it's very dense. It can also be treated with films or melamine paper to be used as decorative wall panels. This is another magnesium oxide board, but the surface uses a PET film that has been specially treated to create a really nice texture. Because of the PET film, this board also holds nails incredibly well. We actually drove a nail in here, and it's super solid. Now let's look at this board. Its main component is also kaolin, which has been compacted under high pressure and coated with a layer of melamine paper on its surface. And it's 18 millimeters thick, so it can basically be used as a furniture board. Kaolin clay is known for its amazing screw holding power. Finally, this is an exterior cement panel, and if you look at the cross section, it's pure cement. For exterior use, weather resistance is the main priority. So it's treated with a special acrylic coating that keeps it from fading for basically 30 years. With these acrylic paints, the exterior walls have become colorful. Everything up here is man-made inorganic boarding. Here we have a few ways natural marble is processed. Everyone is familiar with the traditional way, like this 2 centimeter thick marble slab. But there are a few other clever methods. One is translucent marble, which uses a very thin slice of marble backed with glass. If you look at the cross section, marble is in the front and glass is in the back. Once the glass is bonded, the whole panel becomes sturdy and won't crack easily. And because it's so thin, it becomes translucent. So if you put lights behind it, it creates a gorgeous interior effect. Then there's thin cut marble, where the stone is sliced down to just 6 or 7 millimeters, about 1/3 of the thickness of traditional marble slabs, and a layer of mastic or mortar is applied to the back. This backing massively boosts its performance, mainly against impacts. If you do a steel ball drop test from a height of 1.5 meters, it basically won't break at all, whereas regular untreated marble would definitely crack. Another option is 1 millimeter thick marble. With a mastic backing, it can actually be rolled and bent, meaning you can install it on curved walls or columns. This greatly enhances its application scope in interior decoration. Then it is tiles. Tiles are made beautifully these days and are often called marble tiles, even though the material has nothing to do with real marble. But why can it be made with a texture like marble? If you look closely, this marble tile has two layers. The bottom layer is uniform, and there's a top layer about 2 millimeters thick. How do they make that top layer? It's actually about feeding different materials. The feeding machine has many feeding ports at different positions, which are calculated to dispense raw materials of different colors. Then, various natural patterns are formed on the board. After feeding, glaze is applied on the board, and then it undergoes another firing process, so the patterns are fixed on the board. Wood grain tiles work on a different principle. The cross section also shows two layers, but the top one is very thin. For these, after the tiles are fired, first print the wood grain onto the surface of the tiles using a color printer, then glaze the surface and finally fire it again. This way, the wood grain will be incorporated. Tile patterns can do so much now, such as landscape paintings, portrait painting, and various geometric patterns can actually be made on them. And then there's sintered stone. A lot of people are confused about whether sintered stone is natural or made of some other material. Actually, sintered stone slab is a kind of tile, but it is specially fired, and its material is more refined. The resulting product has greater rigidity and strength, making it less prone to breaking. I've seen sintered stone slabs up to 4 meters tall mounted on walls, and it looks absolutely shocking. There's also art glass. How does it achieve such beautiful shape? Its artistic look comes from a decorative interlayer in the middle, just like laminated safety glass. So the design is protected from damage and can feature all kinds of beautiful patterns. Like I said, there are so many surface treatments for boards now, including PET and PVC wrapping, fabric wrapping, melamine paper pressing, and roller coating. This is a PET metal film. The characteristic of PET film is that it is very flat and smooth, giving a feeling similar to a metal surface or a painted surface. Compared to PVC film, It has a relatively higher hardness, along with more scratch resistance, wear resistance, and weather resistance. However, the more commonly used PVC film can achieve a wide range of effects. It can be made to resemble cloth or wood grain, or even have a fabric-like feel, as well as stone textures. This is because PVC film is more suitable for printing and embossing, allowing for various patterns and texture effects, which PET film cannot achieve. These here are metal panels. This one is clearly an aluminum honeycomb panel. Its surface is roll painted to resemble a marble pattern. When people hear metal panels, many assume there are only two types: single sheets and honeycomb panels. But there's actually a huge variety. Aside from single sheets and composite panels, like the PET wrapped metal ones we saw earlier, there's also this composite panel, which has an alumina powder core pressed in the middle, making it super hard and heat resistant. Then you have 3D panels and corrugated panels, where both sides of the core are laminated with sheets like aluminum alloy or SPC to form a composite panel. This composite board material has high rigidity and is not easy to deformation. So yes, the variety of metal panels is huge. When it comes to this coating, there are actually many coating processes available nowadays. Roll coating is a commonly used coating process for metal surfaces. These few are all roll coating processes, which can be applied to achieve wood grain or stone-like finishes. Nowadays, there are various coating materials available, including some wear-resistant layers, such as UV paint. Look, this board is coved by ASA anti-corrosion composite film. And this one is coved by TPO anti-corrosion film on top layer, and the bottom layer is PE film. And this one, the surface and inner layers of it are both made of PVC anti-corrosion composite film. And this is coved of PVDF film. Here, I will focus on the anti-corrosion film of PVDF. This is a fluorocarbon coating, which has strong weather resistance. Its color can remain relatively bright, so it is generally used on brightly colored walls. The color can basically remain fade resistant for more than 10 to 20 years. Moreover, its surface hardness is relatively high, and its weather resistance is relatively strong. So there are many types of boards available now. As a designer, it is essential to understand the characteristics of various materials, their suitable applications, physical properties, chemical properties, thermal properties, and so on, including nail holding strength, compressive strength, deformation resistance, weather resistance, and so on. These all need to be basically understood. Then you will have a clearer idea when designing, and your design will be less likely to encounter various problems during the actual construction process.
Remember, pay attention before you wave.